Welcome to Channel Barinade. We're here today with some wonderful guests, my bestest friends in the whole world. We're here with another fun day of content for Shiny Boy session 55. It's the correct one this time. Ignore me on the previous ones. It's definitely 55, unless I say otherwise. But I'm pretty sure, I'm like 98% sure that it's actually 55 this time. I've corrected it in my notes. And
Even if it's not, it is now.
It is now. I'm officially saying...
We rewrite history.
We're rewriting history. With recap, I can do a... Since we don't have that much time today, I can do like a super duper ultra short recap. Unless somebody else wants to take the reins. If somebody else really wants to do recap, I will let you go ahead. Or add details after I do the little short bit. But last session, in session 54, it's definitely the only 54, and there were no other 54s, it wasn't 53. We, as a party, made it from the... I was going to say the Crystal Empire, the Kingdom of Crystal, all the way to Peach's tattoo parlor / library, where everybody got cute, well, I was going to say cute matching tattoos, but they're matching in a way. We've got runes that are magic that allow us to kind of connect with each other in a way, unlike before, we'll know that we're okay and alive and well. The tattoos themselves, I think Rodridi got her own nice sort of a floral chest tattoo, whereas the others in the party got sort of matching stone-like tattoos that were designed by Jade, the ultimate artist himself. After that point, did a little bit of exploring and eventually made our way to Alyssa's place now, where everybody's chilling. Tiny Fury is no longer so tiny. He's now quite huge, towering, massive, absolutely huge tiger. Quite bigger than all of you, actually. On a grid, it would be a slightly bigger circle, because he's huge, quite literally, in game mechanics.
Oh, wait, hang on. Sorry. That cannot be... Is he huge in game mechanics?
Huge.
That's the same size... That's the size of a house.
He is that big, yeah.
What?
He's huge.
You can't fit in the house, mate.
He can squeeze through. Have you seen cats squeeze through like little holes? He's able to squeeze, but he's pretty much like filling the inside of Alyssa's house.
Do you mean a large creature?
Well, he should be huge.
Huge is like dragon-sized, almost.
Well, not that big, no. But
he's not purple worm size.
Not purple worm size, no.
So it's not.
But he's
large.
He's big enough.
Large.
He's proper tiger size.
He should be bigger than a tiger.
Okay.
So a large creature maybe would be better.
Maybe. I think the stat sheet says huge, but yeah, he should be large in that case. But I guess you'll see when you go into combat. But he's quite big. He's room-sized, pretty much. So interpret that as you will. Like the size of like a full kitchen. Absolute behemoth.
I don't know what I've brought upon this party, but I
But
was
he's quite big.
expecting like a little friend.
He grew at that time, and well, you found out that he swallowed the sitter. So now it's just you guys chilling out. Penny's also there, the same size as before. Hasn't grown into a huge Penny just yet, but will that happen in a session or two? Who knows? What will I throw at you?
12 years old and it's not growing anymore.
Can you imagine if suddenly, like, in the next session, it'd be like, and now Penny is also absolutely massive. They're just growing and they will not stop. They're just increasing in size.
No.
But I think outside of that, if there's anything else you guys want to add, those are like the major points that were hit. There was just general exploration and more info about the world, insights regarding what might have happened here with Medusa. There's some suspicious things going on, but otherwise, it's hard to say exactly what's going on. No concrete evidence has been yet concluded upon. But now you're here in Alyssa's warm home, humble abode, chilling, vibing out with a little bit of tea in a circle or a square around her table. And you're all here.
We know Tiny Fury's not going to eat us.
I trust him with my life.
He licks you as you say that.
Oh, you see Jade twitches ever so slightly.
Jade
It's
is
just
drenched.
For a moment.
Core like taps Jade. Yeah, but you're not made of like, you know, tasty meat stuff.
I think that I think we discussed last time, if the crystal dinosaurs consumed crystals to live, then the odds are that Tiny Fury might also... Looks up at him slowly.
He licks you a couple more times. And he purrs a little bit. And the house kind of shakes a little bit. Your cups of tea kind of jingle on their little coasters.
This isn't concerning at
Perhaps-
all.
Yes. Concerning with sandpaper tongue and Jade's rock skin.
It just makes this horrible scraping noise. Oh. Can Tiny Fury, like, not do that?
He appears to only be licking Jade at the moment. Jade, are you feeling alright?
I'll look up to Tiny Fury and I say, please stop this.
He stops. He does one final lick, and then doesn't do any more. But he keeps purring.
Jade will reach into his bag and pull out, like, does he have any kind of, like, quartz or something?
It's up to you if you picked up any.
That is a
think-
real tiger. You're feeding it
In
quartz.
in my backstory, no,
Hmm.
in my personality traits, I pick up bizarre objects and fiddle with them for no apparent purpose. So Jade probably has got a small selection of like stones and things.
Copy coin.
Hmm?
Oh.
I thought you were like enacting Jade pulling out a stone for a second.
I have a pressed rose
Oh, that's really
from
cool.
one of them. They gave me flowers, so I wanted to keep
Oh.
it. Anyway,
Oh.
but
Make sure you press it
Jade-
for 2 weeks, though, before you take them out.
I'm gonna say I'm
wait,
impressed.
that was 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Already. It was the 1st of July I went there. It's been a while.
Otherwise, they will rot. I learnt the hard way.
It's a pressing matter.
That was very funny, Thomas, but I'm not going to acknowledge it further than that.
Nope.
I would say that
So-
with having traveled through a very gemstony sort of area, you could have had a chance to pick up a few gemstones here and there. All of you, if any of you
Give
wanted
Tiny
that.
Fury this.
Oh,
Yeah, Jade just picks up a clear quartz because he thinks that would probably be healthy for him, just to cleanse, and then offers it over to see.
He gently sort of reaches down and grabs it with his teeth, which are also quite long and sharp and big and intimidating. He
If he
looks
was
powerful.
meant to eat quartz, like, wouldn't he have, like, flat, like, grinding molars? Just saying.
You hear a crushing sound.
Also, he did consume small goblin lady.
Oh no!
A diverse diet, then. I see.
Of people!
Alyssa
I
comes
have no
back at this
problem.
point with a few more cups of tea in her hand. Here you go, Vegeta. Here's your cup of tea.
Thank you.
Core, it's been a
Cheers.
while. Jade, would you like one as well?
Yes, please.
She hands you a cup. Tamara, is
No
there?
sugar.
Oh, would you like a sugar?
No,
Oh, no
the
sugar.
opposite.
She takes her cup back.
Give it
Tamara
to
looks at her
Tamar,
for a
he loves
bit.
Sugar.
Oh, is it sweetened tea?
Well, this one is. The one you have, I think, is very herbal, but I can get you one with honey or something in it
No.
if you'd like.
No, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Cora's yours is overly sweetened. Yours is half crystallized, actually, because of how much
He taps the surface.
he taps the surface of his solid tea.
He licks it.
It's just a giant sugar crystal.
Yeah, I like it.
Tamara eyes the sweetened cup and longingly looks at it, but looks away. Alyssa understands and gives the cup to him, and he graciously takes it without saying a word. And she goes back, and Jade, she fetches you another cup of tea. A jasmine tea this time. Unsweetened.
Mint.
And she sits down with her own cup of coffee. Which she drinks at an alarming speed, and then puts the empty cup down. So what brings you back here?
A few things, I suppose. My cat, but also
It's gotten
we
quite
had some
big.
questions.
Hmm.
I am sorry for the imposition.
That's okay, I don't mind.
It was a kitten then.
It's been an interesting few days.
And now he's eating people. Ah, they grow up so fast.
Tiny Fury
I
looks
was about
around
to
and
say
bumps his head a
that.
little bit on the ceiling.
Oh, how the time flies.
I don't know if it's going to get any bigger, but it's quite big. Bigger than any tiger I've ever seen. But I've never really seen a gemstone tiger, so I'm not quite sure what to think of it.
Jade looks quickly concerned for his own height and growth spurts that perhaps could come.
Jade
Says a
grows.
small prayer. No.
So you had questions for me?
Well, we've seen what's
We'll look
happened
at
to the
Dreedy.
city.
How's the tea?
I'm just here for the tea. It's great.
I'm here for my cat. And to support our friend.
That's nice. But it's good to see you again. Things have been a little different over the last short while. It feels like it's been a lot longer than it really has, but over the last week or so, this place has been kind of turned upside down. Things have been changed.
Jade
New
kind
regulations.
of looks to Treaty. I think he was expecting her to be sort of asking the questions in this, but if she looks like she's not going to say anything, he can ask on her behalf.
How's Virginia looking during this interaction? Because I think Alyssa would wait a little bit, but she won't press you if that's how if you don't look like you want to be pressed.
She looks stoic as always, and just sipping her tea.
Okay. There is, for my own DM sake, there is something that I will want to know about as far as Druidy's reaction. But Alyssa goes up for a little bit. She talks. I think it's Medusa's mob that took over this place. We haven't seen Medusa herself, but I'm guessing that she's probably at the center of this, or some organization is, and using her image, I guess. I'm not really sure.
A lot of Medusas.
Say again.
There's a lot of Medusas, actually.
A lot of Medusas. I was under the impression that there was only one Medusa, the Medusa.
No, they're really into the gene splicing.
Oh. Okay. Gene splicing.
Yeah.
Should I ask about that or no?
No, just keep talking. I'll take
Okay.
after.
As long as I guess it doesn't... Well, okay. I don't know anything about that necessarily, but some buildings have been leveled, others have been expanded. I know that for one, the bank is no longer around. It's been leveled to the ground. Tamar feels a pang of sadness as he hears that.
Or snorts.
He looks to you, Cor. I never got to rob that place, and I didn't think I would care, but it's actually hitting me quite hard. Harder than I
And
thought.
now you'll never will.
And now you also owe me another 10 gold pieces.
Thanks,
So you
Vidridi.
drop the bank.
Okay, fine. Vidridi, did you get in on this bet, or did I forget that?
Oh, she wasn't in on that part. She
Not
was in
on
on
that.
the crying part.
Oh.
I was on the rob the bank part. So 10 gold, please.
He pulls out a bag, a little like a little cloth that you would hold coins in, and he opens it, and out of it comes a little, and like this little puff of air. Cool, can I write you an IOU?
Or takes Penny, picks him up, and says, "Penny is mine. We don't have joint custody until you pay me back."
Penny's
That's
priceless.
fair.
That is how.
Penny looks very happy as always, just unbridled joy coming from this tiny creature.
And a slight nervous twitch, of course. And fear. But just joyful fear.
No fear. Penny loves me. I was always the favorite.
This is, as Emma's saying out of character, but Jade would be staring deep into Penny's soul, like.
Despite being such a tiny creature, one thing that you do recognize is
Oh, no.
There-
It's uplifting.
one thing that you notice, Jade, is while Penny may be trumped by Tiny Fury in terms of size, Penny does seem to have quite a lot of energy compared to Tiny Fury, compared to the rest of you. It's just like an energy source, like a fusion reactor or something like that. But it just seems like Penny is always happy, always ready there, and you can kind of get you get an insight into why Tamar has grown so attached over the years.
Penny's on a sugar-only diet.
Sugar only diet.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Jade, do you
Is Penny,
This is
Is
a
Penny a little
fantasy
bit-
dog, guys. Calm down.
wait. Hang on. Jade stands back and looks at Penny and looks at Core and looks at Penny and looks at Core and then looks to Tamar.
These are the same
And back
thing.
to Core. Yeah. That's what's going through. You can tell that's what's going through his
Is
mind.
Wait,
that-
what's going through?
It's that meme. But what's the difference between A and B? They're the same.
What's going
Mark.
through?
Yes.
Did you socialize Penny to resemble Core?
He gets up out of his chair. I have to go. I just remembered I forgot something. And he exits the house.
Small,
Smart.
powerful,
Come back.
angry,
He comes
only
back.
lives off of.
Okay, I'm back.
Did you say I'm angry? I am have a very nice temperament. Ask anyone.
I don't need to.
Correct answer.
I love Penny. That's all I will say. And he
I'm
And
a
now Penny
wordsmith.
is mine.
gives Penny a little light.
No, you can't
switch.
touch Penny until
Okay.
you pay me my 10 gold.
Okay, fine. He ties his little bag up again. Shh. Puts it away. How about we make a trade?
For 10 gold?
How about I bake you a pie?
Your pies aren't worth 10 gold.
They are.
Ouch.
I put love into those pies. That's worth at least 12 gold. And he laughs to himself as he says that.
How about you can go outside and, I don't know, sell your shoes or something and bring me back 10 gold?
Okay, if I do that, will you give me Penny back?
You
I'll give you
probably
touch
should not.
Okay.
But it would be really funny if Tamar came back with no shoes.
The mother is still wanted by Medusa.
That
That's
is
a
also a
good
good point.
You can sell your shoes later.
Tamar, how does one bake love into anything? Is it an ingredient as well as an emotion?
He sits close. He scoots closer to Jade. So it's sort of a figure of speech. I think, and as far as I know, it's just a sort of it's just when you bake with care, then the care that you put into
So
baking.
there's no love in the flip.
Not literally, no. I'm not quite sure
Oh.
how you would do that.
Magic.
Maybe with magic. I'm
Kiss
not.
the pie crust. That's how you do it.
I'm not.
It's not terribly sanitary.
Give it a good lick.
You could rose quartz inside of it, and then whoever has the piece with the rose quartz in it
Breaks their
is
teeth.
lucky and breaks it. Not if you're made of a gem. Apparently. Looks up at Tiny Fury.
You still hear the. Is Tiny Fury sharpening their teeth? I'm scared.
I'm not scared, but I'm just a little bit uncomfortable.
It's very cute though. It's very fuzzy for a
I can
gemstone
still see
tiger.
goblin skin in his teeth.
Canonically, you do. Roll me a perception check. Do you see? That is terrifying.
All of us?
You can if you like.
He doesn't actually. He's just saying that.
Jade just like, what?
What?
I do not see it. Lorraine, whenever all say it's someone, I do not see it.
All right. What were your rolls? Hit me up.
5.
I'm not.
14.
14. And Jade, you're not rolling.
Yeah.
Okay. So with your
Wasn't
rolls,
fucking-
Core, you rolled a 5, so it's hard to say. Maybe you did see something in there. Virginia, you're getting a much better look, and you immediately can come to the conclusion that Tiny Fury does seem to be quite hygienic, despite exterior frightful appearances being just so massive, and just looks like a giant, big cat, tiger, house cat. Tiger,
So what?
house
So
tiger.
what you're saying is that Tiny Fury did a big good job, and
I got rid of the evidence.
Swallowed Peggy whole.
that one.
Does that mean the skeleton will be intact later on?
Oh no! I did this to myself. I have nobody but me to blame.
Does Peggy have a family?
I don't know that, Core.
I suppose that is either up to Lady Alyssa or Jade to contact the next of kin.
Well, I have no way of
Jade-
contacting them.
Family.
Why do goblins always die around us?
And goblin lovers seem to leave, says the DM to no one in particular. Those memories.
Jade realizes the implications of what he just said and doesn't repeat what he said.
As Alyssa goes on, she mentions a few other things, a few other buildings that have been The library is a little bit different now. It's been reduced down in size. A few of the shops are gone. Some new shops have sprung up. The Temple of Illustre is much bigger than it was before. The medical centers are different now. Vajriti, how are you looking?
She almost has an expression.
Almost has an expression. Okay, alright. She lists a few other buildings
Treaty,
of lesser
I
importance.
can tell there's something wrong with your face. I just can't put a feeling on it.
Can you though? I think you might have to roll for that if Vajriti looks stoic.
Okay, my passive insight's pretty decent. So, passive insight is 17. Insight check
And then I'll let Vajriti roll against that with
is a
advantage.
natural 20, 27. 27.
Oh,
Natural 20.
God.
You said you'll let me roll with advantage?
Yep. Oh my
Nice.
god. That's crazy.
So, I also rolled a natural 20.
What? Oh my god.
However, if we're talking about Drini trying to conceal anything, it's just a flat natural 20 with no modifier.
Okay, in that case, it'll be up to
Which,
you how much...
which falls on the side of Jane.
Right.
Mm.
Her expression is at new shops have popped up, as well as the Temple of Illustre being larger than before.
In Sylvan, which is a language the three of us will understand, but if anyone's listening in, maybe
Well,
wouldn't.
At this moment, Alyssa would go get... She notices her empty cup of coffee. I'll be right back. I'm going to get another... I'll make another full pot of coffee. I'll be right back. Would anyone like a tea refill?
No,
coffee.
Jade scooches right up close to you, Driti, and just stares and just says, "Your face, there's something wrong with it. It's showing some kind of emotion I can't quite comprehend."
Jade, unless you're gonna kiss someone, take a step back. Just puts his fingers on Jade's forehead and pushes it away from Judy. That's good.
Is this the emotion known as jealousy?
No, this is the emotion known as social propriety, which I lack, usually.
Okay.
Social
Should I
propriety. I
have it
think
or
I've
lack
broken
of
that law before.
Which is preferable?
I'm sure you have.
Which is preferable? A lack of social propriety or upholding social propriety?
When it comes to people's personal space, probably uphold it unless you want to get a fist to the face. From the person
Driti,
whose
please
space
do
you're
not punch me in
invading.
the face.
Although I
Tell me
don't think
everything
Driti
about
would punch you.
Driti, please do not punch me in the face. But tell me everything about how you feel right now.
Sorry, there was a lot of talking at the same time, and my brain just stopped.
Jade said, Driti, please do not punch me in the face, but tell me everything you're feeling right now. Please.
Why are more shops, and why is Temple bigger? Actually, hang on. No. In Sylvan, it would, she would sound different. Why are there more shops, and why is the temple bigger?
Jade would say, because whoever is in charge of all this is clearly working for whoever.
Into
the temple is
capitalism.
for. That's another theory. We can pursue that to its fullest extent later, but
I like capitalism. Said no one in this group ever.
Jeffrey Bezos has entered the chat. Anyway. Jade says, "Forgive me. I did notice you had a response to Illustrating. Was it?"
Yes, she is our, Wait, is this still in Sylvan?
Yeah.
Okay, she's
until
our family, family's deity.
the one you worship.
Yes. It does not make sense that whatever they're trying to do is something's off.
I'm non-religious. I do not understand.
I am a rock.
Tamara is looking around as he does not understand at all.
Core would be rapid fire translating for Tamar,
Oh,
since this is also his native language.
Alright, I see. Okay.
But he's throwing in a few like incorrect details and translations here and there just to confuse me a little bit. He gets it.
Druti, I believe that you wanted to come here to find answers.
Honestly, I just would like to put an end to it all.
Sounded dark.
Fuck the answers. Just finish it.
I like your attitude.
I feel the same.
Let's go blow up Xerxes.
Tamara knows in agreement.
And Kal-El if need be, although I would like to interrogate them.
How do you go about doing that, by the way?
And we finish bronze too.
Bronze as well.
If Bronze is in the same area, that would be a lot of fighting all at once, and I am physically weak.
If you
we
all
see
have
Bronze,
enemies,
we
could
can
I
leave him to-
also destroy Medusa?
Is my mic a bit too glitchy?
I'll turn you up. I think you're okay, but
Hang on. I'll go lower so that they can hear me, just because there's been a few times I wasn't sure if my mic was picking up what I'm saying. But Jade would just say, if you see Bronze, you can leave it
Bronze
to me.
is yours.
it's your fight.
I don't know what to expect yet. I can't make any kind of call. I'll just know what's right in the moment.
I, for one, would
Even
like
if I
that.
don't usually know. I will carry you, throw you, do whatever you need to be done. I will
See if the
perform
throwing
aerial
is necessary.
Yes.
Gotcha. I don't think Kal-El will be weakened by our aerial gymnastics, but we can certainly see.
We could take a trapeze lesson.
Jade starts aggressively oohing.
I've always wanted to learn how.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps
Something
we
we need
stop
more
the summoning, and there will be time for trapeze.
Maybe Jade has a circus kink.
And at this point, Alyssa comes back into the room with a pot of tea and a bunch of empty cups. So this stuff is laced with something if you'd like to have a try.
Yes. Yes.
Alright. She comes over
Even
and
if
sits
it's
down.
poison, yes.
Here you go, Core. Here's a cup of coffee. And it smells to you divine. I'll
I'll
put
go
myself
first
on.
in case this isn't, and he chugs the coffee.
And Alyssa chugs it with you. And now you feel a sensation of wash over you. Not quite like what you're expecting. You're not going to go for a trip or anything like that. But for the next however long, until your long rest, you will get an advantage on your next saving throw, should you decide to make one.
Wow. It's pretty neat.
You feel a bit energized, like you've got just more aware, more awake, or something like that. It's hard to say what kind of drug she's put into this.
Within the hour.
Within the day. You get the whole day until you take a long rest. It'll wear off after 24 if you don't rest in the day.
Okay.
It wears off if
I
you
feel
sleep,
wonderful.
is what I found at
Alyssa.
least.
You are amazing. Thank you.
No worries. It's got a hint of chocolate flavoring in it, too.
I feel that. I feel that. Nice choice.
Dark chocolate and rose, specifically.
I'm more of a milk chocolate, white chocolate person, but I can appreciate the dark chocolate.
I could get a little milk for you if you'd like a dash of it in yours.
Maybe next time.
Okay. Would anybody else like a coffee?
No, thank you.
More for me. She downs a second one.
It is delicious.
It is quite nice. She grabs a third.
What does it do? Jade looks confused.
It makes you feel more aware and alert of your surroundings.
And I suppose that couldn't be disagreeable.
Would you like a try? She hands you a cup.
Can we get like a flask of this stuff?
Sure, I can put the rest of the pot into a flask if you like.
That would be amazing, just because I want to keep tasting this elixir.
Certainly. And she heads off to the other room for a moment, and she's disappeared for a bit. She looks like she's probably rummaging around for some sort of flask that she might be able to give you. And you've got a few minutes on your own again. Tamar's looking around. So what's our plan of
Jade
action?
looks down at his cup and just takes the tiniest of sips.
You take a teeny weeny sip and you feel energized. And for the next... Well, you feel like you need to drink the rest of the cup to get the full benefits, but you feel like your reaction speed is a little bit better.
Jade has a taste for it and just knocks it back. This is out of character for me.
You knock it back, and now you've also got the boost. You will also have advantage on your next saving throw within the next 24 hours. Or until you sleep.
Jade.
Has never had coffee before.
What? Who said that?
Feeling
He
good?
looks everywhere. What?
Over here.
Oh. Hello.
Hello.
I feel the sudden urge to climb a building.
Jade, have you ever
Hold
had
off on that.
coffee before?
No.
Okay.
What is it? Is it always like this?
Well, you'll grow used to it if you have more, but somewhat. I think that's the caffeine in there, as well as whatever Alyssa put into it.
Caffeine. He just kind of like, just kind of nods.
A student's
Right.
best friend.
I've never finished a cup of coffee. Fun fact.
I've only had 3 total, but that's more than I had last year, which was 0.
I finished an iced coffee before, but it was a very sweet one. So I don't know if that counts.
I
I'd say it
like
counts.
caramel macchiatos and like sweet coffees, like fake ones. But those are
I'll
more
drink
like
it if I
coffee
have to.
flavored drinks. Like they're not like actual
Mm.
coffee. It's like a black coffee. It's just like no.
I
The,
just don't
But I
like
prefer
flavor.
like a tea, a nice
Yeah.
tea. Also, tea is more just like calming to drink.
true.
Yeah, a
And-
cheaper habit too.
Cheaper habit. Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's true.
It's a cheaper habit.
Yeah.
Over here drinking my cold brew, which I drink every day, unsweetened and like without any like creamers in it.
Sounds nice though.
Oh my god, live your dream. It's like a certain kind of taste, and I can understand why it's appealing.
At this point,
I
Even if-
can't, but I respect your choice.
yeah, some nice tasting stuff out there. But I want to, expand my taste horizons. So it's been fun.
Just not sugar.
Just not the sugar. I can't handle it. I think. I don't know. My tummy gets angry at me when
My
I have
tummy's
sugar.
angry. Imagine being defeated by sugar. Sorry, that was mean.
Damn, dude. It's my kryptonite. I can't handle it for some reason. But hey, I've been eating more bananas to,
Mm.
even though I don't know how sweet they are compared to like sweet things, but that's my like max level. That's how I've been pushing the boundaries, pushing the
My
envelope.
cousin is mortally afraid of bananas.
That's interesting.
Why?
I don't know why. You can test this theory, Emma. If you take a banana and you chase him with it, he will scream and run away and get violent and throw things.
That sounds mean.
He's so scared of bananas. I don't know if it's a joke or serious, but he's always been like that.
I'm concerned.
A banana killed his family. No.
I feel like you would know about that if that was the case. It's like only him in his house. There's just corpses everywhere and suspicious banana skins. Or peels, I should say. Is anyone called a banana skin? I don't think so, right? It's kind of a skin. Anyway,
Banana skin, yeah. Banana peel.
banana peel.
Anyway.
On that frighteningly a yellow note, Alyssa would
Yellow.
return with a large flask big enough to contain a full pot of coffee, and you get the feeling that you'd get a decent amount of cups out of this. How many would you get? That's hard to say just by looking at it, but she fills up this thing with coffee and gives it to you. 8.
Alyssa made a traveler. That's what they call them at Starbucks when you take like the big pot for like communal like meetings and things.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's like that essentially. But she gives you the flask, and it looks quite nice. It's ornate. It's got this sort of a gold trimming to it, which is just very, very characteristic of something that Alyssa would own. Her taste is very much in line with this sort of high fashion cottagecore, expensive but classy kind of. That's her look, you know. And the flask seems to fit in with that, so you can tell that she's had this just stashed away somewhere for some amount of time.
Something I threw together.
Here's the flask. Who'd like to take it?
Me.
Alright, Cora, this is for you.
Thanks.
Now, I don't know if there's anything else I can help you with, but I've got a lot of cleaning to do. What are you all planning on doing?
Going to meet our demise, probably.
That sounds like a fun adventure.
It has its ups
We
and
are a
downs.
fun adventure.
You certainly are. Tiny Fury's been interesting to keep an eye on. That was a fun chapter of my life. Only a few pages long, but it was fun.
Probably
Alyssa, I need to know, why is he this size? This is not what I expected.
I don't know, but he's growing every day still, so be careful.
No. Do you have anything that could perhaps pause the growth?
Pause the growth?
Why would you want to do that?
Let me think for a moment.
It's just if we need to be subtle, this might be hard.
But Tiny Fury could just like step on people for us.
He can do that. He is already the size of the room. I think it is possible that is
Calaro's
already
not that
within
large.
his. We could all.
I
ride
don't
around-
have something that can pause the growth, but I do have something that might help you. But be careful, there are only 3 doses. I'll be right back. And she disappears again.
Doses. Is this another drug? Jade.
Oh,
It's
Alyssa
Alyssa,
has
of course
a
it
lot of
is. She's a party animal on the side, you know? Yeah. Just gotta have fun.
I
But
will compromise my morals.
She reappears with what looks like a sort of a half wine bottle, half flask. And she reappears.
Is it one of those wine bottles which the top of it is just the glass?
it looks a little bit more that's a funny vision, but it's more like a sort of sciencey flask that you'd see in like a laboratory or something. And it's filled with a very, very blue liquid, and it's quite long. So if you drink
That's blue.
it is.
Daboo-dee-daboo.
This is a shrinking potion. But
Get it away from me. I
You
do
sh-
not want it.
you should only drink a third of this at a time. Or less, really, but that should be enough. And it'll shrink... Well, if you drink it, Jade, it'll shrink you down to the size of a coin, maybe. I think if Tiny Fury drinks it, then he'll be shrunken down to... Well, the size of maybe a rabbit, I would think, if I had to scale the size down. And it'll last for a day.
That sounds kind of fun.
So this is the best I can do. It's
Thank you.
not permanent though, but she hands it to you.
Thank you.
Anything to help. But if there's nothing
Jade
else you need
takes
from me, then I'll begin the cleaning process. She looks horrified for a moment as she thinks,
You're right.
and then shakes it
Goodbye.
off.
Jade starts walking away.
Yes, I'm fine. I've bought a big scoop. And she turns around.
Cor will leave a couple of gemstones on the table on the way out, just for
Oh.
Alyssa to have. Because he knows that she won't really want money because she's rich, but he'll leave some gems for her.
That's nice. That's nice. That's quite cute. She smiles, turns around, and then before leaving, she looks back at you, Cor. Wait, just a moment. Goodbye hug, just in case you die.
That is a great point. Cor walks over, gives her a hug.
She gives you a gentle aunt-like hug, and then gives you a little pet on the head as well.
Cheers.
Don't die, okay?
No promises, but I will make an attempt. I don't want to die. I'm not that old yet.
I believe in
56 isn't that old.
you. You're in your prime, Core.
Exactly.
Live
Thank
it,
you.
love it.
Uh-huh.
And she does a bit of a twirl as she spins back around, and leaves you all to the world of the material plane. It is midday-ish, around about now, I think. Maybe later in the afternoon, or later in the midday, early in the afternoon. And the world is yours. You are exposed to the outside world, still painted, still hidden. Tiny Fury is with you now. Tiny Fury is big boy.
So what are we doing today?
Dismantling this corrupt government.
That sounds like a plan that we could engage in.
We
Agree?
could just go straight for the teleportation circle. See
I
where
was
it
thinking
goes.
more
Let's
like
do that.
bottomless brunch or something, but okay.
Teleportation circle it is. Let's have a look.
We can get bottomless brunch on the way.
We can. Brunch could be a nice idea.
I like this
Could
idea.
could they not fill up a bucket filled with whatever it needs? No, the bucket has a bottom. Jade looks like he's pondering this significantly. A bucket of brunch items. But how can it be bottomless if it's got a bottom? And Jade just
I will find us a bottomless brunch place. Jade, you can ponder on the meaning of bottomless brunch.
At this point,
What is the meaning of bottomless brunch? What is the meaning of life?
Alaria pops in. In order to best get to where we need to go, why don't we look for a brunch place on the way to the teleportation circle?
Alright,
So
I'll make
it's-
a concession.
Valentina just needed to draw the circle and then we go.
Ugh.
Oh, you want me to draw the circle? Oh, which one?
Yes, the one that we copied from the trap room that is a trap.
Oh,
Look into trap, find enemies. Kill enemies. Be done.
Do we have all of our hit points and spell slots? Friends.
Should be.
Whatever those
We just
words
woke up.
came out of now.
Can
Beautiful.
we have an hour before we do this teleportation thing? Because I kind of want to send a message before we do the teleport, and then I need to get that message back.
well, we can head to a brunch place and sit down for an hour.
I love the way you think.
I could always go for some more grub.
I like champagne.
Champagne. So are we going to a bar or a brunch place?
I like avocado
Bottomless
toast.
brunch.
Say again, Jade.
I like avocado toast.
I like avocados as well. They are a similar color to me
And to me.
and to you.
Goodbye.
And to me!
Jade turns around and faces the outside of the room.
So you're on the lookout for a brunch place that has avocados that also serves wine. Okay.
Look,
Champagne!
Brunch,
Champagne.
most brunch places do like mimosas
True.
with the champagne and the orange juice.
True,
Or
actually.
bellinis with
I'm
peach
just going to pop
juice.
to the loo real quick.
Ooh. Did you break? Did you say? Okay. As you wander, you look around your surroundings and you're keeping an eye out for anything sus. Keeping an eye out. Keeping an ear out.
Everything is sus.
Everything is sus. It's true. That's just D&D in a nutshell. Everything is sus. But you're keeping an ear, a nose, an eye, the other eye. Just looking around and taking in your general surroundings. I would like the two of you, since you're both here, to roll for me some perception checks. As you do this. As you're walking, looking for
Oh man.
a brunch place on
I'm
the way.
saying at 10.
10. And Verdridi.
26.
Ooh, okay. 26.
17 plus 9.
Okay, Core, you are looking around. You are laser focused on just finding the brunch place. So I'm going to say that you're still looking, maybe even effectively, but only for the brunch place and nothing else.
Mhm.
And you quickly eye a place that looks like a nice brunch place that might serve all the things that you guys are after. It's a very small sort of little cottage. It looks quite cute, but at least somewhat high class. But this is capital after all, so all these places are going to look at least a little bit nice. Druidi, on the other hand, you're also looking, and you get a glimpse of a few places, but you're also on the lookout for anything else that might be of note. Just on your guard, on alert. In general, you're taking in all of your surroundings and processing everything consciously as you walk. As you walk, there is something that kind of hits you as a sort of realization, and that is that from here, from this district, the housing district, on your way to the brunch place, to the teleportation circle, you will go by the Temple of Illustre anyway. This will be on your trajectory if you're heading straight there. And you can see this from a distance. Now, you remember the Temple of Illustrae when you were here before. It was quite small. It was uncharacteristically small when the acolyte that you ran into was there the first time, I think. It was quite a small place. I think you were directed to... Or the idea of there being another temple came up in the Kingdom of Crystal, which was not explored. But this temple now looks quite a lot bigger, and it stretches out. It's more than one floor. It's like a much more prestigious-looking chapel. There is something curious about it. Very, very quaint. From this distance, at least, because it is still a few houses away. You can't tell from here if it is decked out in banners or not, but it doesn't appear to be, unlike the houses you've gone by so far. It doesn't look like there's any indication of Medusa's symbolism, I guess, on the building from this distance. If there's something at ground level that's being obstructed by your view of the houses at the moment, it's hard to say, but that's something that you'll run into post-brunch, and that's something that you keep in mind. Is there anything else you're on the lookout for, or are you just keeping an eye out?
I'm really sorry, but I need to go to the loo as well. I was going to wait till Emma gets back, but I gotta go. So I'll be right back.
That's okay.
Okay, yeah, cool. Tag team.
Tag team.
All of us going in succession.
We are walking to a brunch place. Jade, would you like to roll for me a perception check to see what you see on the way? Because that's where we're just...
Okay.
You haven't missed much. Just people perceiving as we're looking for brunch. As over Dritty, is that everything? Is there anything specific? Oh, it's a rappy puppy. Cute. 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 He's so fluffy. Look at his whittle face.
Beautiful. Perception check, did you say?
Yep.
Oh, 26.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of similar stuff. Before I do, though, before I describe anything, Virginia, is that everything that you were looking out for? Is there anything specific that you're looking for?
Does she see anybody, like anyone she would recognize from the temple before?
Not this far away, but you get the feeling that you might run into somebody if you get a bit closer. Right now, it's still a few blocks away, but you can just kind of see it peeking over the houses. But from this distance, You can't see anybody. Jade?
Yeah, she's not going to distract anybody with it.
Okay. Jade, you are also taking into account your general surroundings. You see that Core is just iron, laser focused. He's looking for a brunch place and he spots one and you see what he's looking at. He's not really looking out for that much more than just the brunch place. But you're kind of taking into account your surroundings as well in a similar manner to Vidridi. Before I describe everything, is there anything that you're looking out for specifically?
Looking out to see if they're being followed, especially considering they are a lot more conspicuous now, considering they have tiny fury.
So, yes.
Specifically looking out for anyone who might be working for the enemy in any capacity.
Okay.
Also bronze. Always looking for bronze.
Always looking for bronze. Bronze is like the staple of the to-do list on things to look out for. So, You're keeping a lookout. Now, very quickly, looking around, you do not see any sign of bronze. Taking into account all your surroundings, you're looking around to see, as well as that, if there are any people kind of looking at you with any sort of suspicion, given that you're carrying around a very, very big tiger. And while you do appear to get a few glances here and there, you don't seem to... At this point in the day, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people around, again, for some whatever reason. It just seems like it's just less busy than it was once before. And while you do get a few passing glances, you do get that same feeling that you did before when you were here earlier, that everybody is trying to sort of keep to themselves and not cause any sort of trouble. So while...
Can I...
Yes.
No, please, if you would just more.
I'll just continue on that note. It just seems like everybody's trying to keep to themselves because of that. The vibe here is a bit off in that it just feels a bit oppressive. So in that sense, while it may have been a bit more conspicuous before, it seems like people are less inclined on either commenting or pointing out the very large tiger that you now have. And you also kind of just intuitively think that maybe if Alyssa's had Tiny Fury around, just in general, that maybe people have seen Tiny Fury before, potentially, but it's also hard to say because you don't know exactly how big or small Tiny Fury would have been in the days leading up to this size, at the very least. Keeping on that, you do also see the Temple of Illustrae in the distance.
Okay, Jade has a thought that maybe the lack of people might be somewhat linked to some kind of religious worship time. So can you roll a religion check to see if maybe the Temple of Illustrae would have any kind of ceremony or anything at all that might tip him off, maybe something he had recognized
from
a reading in the past?
Also, yes, you could roll a religion check if you'd like to.
Okay, did Aelin want to say something to stop Jade doing that?
No, not necessarily, just... Nope. All good. I had
If
a
you want
thought
to do
and then
that-
I lost it.
Oh,
Oh, I was just like, is that something you want to roll instead of Jade?
No,
'Cause
no,
I don't...
no, roll it.
roll them,
fine.
roll them, roll them. Obviously, the context of the
Oh
information
my
that you'd
god,
get.
20.
Natural 20.
No.
But still, okay. Very good religion roll. Okay, from your... Now, this will come to you from, like, a literary point. And just your... This is a carry forward from what you've perceived and your knowledge from what you've read, rather than from a practicing the religion kind of point of view. As far as what you know about the Temple of Illustre, it doesn't seem to necessarily line up with anything that you could think to do with the lack of people in the area right now. As in, you don't get the feeling that anything to do with the Temple of Illustre could be an explanatory factor for why there are so few people around at this time of day. Now, that's not to say that necessarily that would rule out any sort of religious reasoning behind why people might not be here, but you do have a strong feeling that the Temple of Illustre is not necessarily connected to that for any religious reasons. On top of that,
Okay.
carrying forward with your perception checks, looking at it a bit more closely now that you're doing a religion check on it, you notice that the iconography and the symbolism of the Temple of Illustre is still adorning the temple, and there's a suspect lack of iconography that would symbolize Medusa and her sort of eye symbol that you see kind of plastered on banners all over the place. In fact, from this distance, without being up close to it because it's still obscured by the ground view of the other buildings in the way, you can't see any banners of Medusas hanging from the temple itself. It seems like this is the only building that you've seen so far that hasn't had any on them, that hasn't been burned to the ground.
Jade will look to the others and say, either this is a bastion of resistance in an otherwise corrupt city, or this is the headquarters of the corrupt organization ruling the city.
Tamar looks too dumbfounded. The brunch place.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait,
He draws his
is
axe.
there brunch temple?
Oh,
There cannot be. That cannot be.
Champagne is pretty evil.
no, I've misunderstood. I see.
Food cannot come near the archive.
Wouldn't want to get muffin crumbs inside the book pages.
You really wouldn't.
You really wouldn't.
I've seen what muffin crumbs can do.
I've had books rot to that in the past.
You can read.
I can read.
I don't know you can read.
I've read many
Did
words.
Core teach you?
No, I've learned on my own.
Cool. I want champagne. I don't care if it is a corrupt, evil organization. If they sell champagne, I'm there.
Temple brunch. Let's go.
If they've got alcohol, I will convert.
Wait, we're not going to the temple first. We're going to get champagne first. Temples don't have champagne. Temples are full of boring wine
I'm
and
sorry.
water.
When Tamar pointed to the temple and said they have brunch in there, I got confused and thought that meant they had brunch in there. Never mind.
So the brunch place. To the brunch place.
Please.
Yeah.
You get a Batman transition screen. Do 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 do, and you're inside the brunch place now, chilling at a little table in your corner. It looks like there are a few other patrons here, actually. There are a few people sitting around. It doesn't look like this place is totally empty. There's some business going on here. And it takes a moment, but eventually a waiter does arrive. A very tall, lanky ogre lady comes up to you. She's got very, very long teeth, as long as she is, just kind of pointing out. It's quite cool, or at least I think it's pretty neat. And she arrives to her table. Hello there. Would you like to order anything? We've got a few menus here. And she places a few down in front of you, one for each of you. Would you like any drinks to start off with?
Yes.
What would you like? And she pulls out a very long notepad and a long quill.
Long, long man.
She's just all long.
You have bottomless champagne brunch, right?
Bottomless champagne brunch. We do.
Yes. I will have one of those.
One bottomless champagne. Anything for the rest of you, as far as drinks are concerned? Could I get a...
You have
You first, Jade.
Do you have bottomless green tea?
Oh,
We do have a bottomless green tea. And for you, a black coffee. It doesn't need to be bottomless. It can have a bottom. It's fine. A bottom. Coffee. And for you. She looks at you, Vedridi.
Trudy just hands back the menu. Just water.
oh
Bottom.
guys, you kill me.
Bottom or bottomless? No, wait, sorry, can I recon that? Bottom full or bottomless?
You know what? Never mind.
Okay, never mind. Bottomless. Thank you. And she walks away. Okay, this place hasn't. Well, this place is fine. Our waiter has an interesting aura to them.
Mm-hmm.
Very long.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we thinking food-wise?
Well, I ordered the bottomless brunch, so whatever comes with the champagne.
It's fair. You did order all your food. I'm thinking, and he points to the menu. They have something called a 12-story donut. I'm going to try that. I can't even begin to picture what that could be. Is it 12 donuts? Is it a donut sliced like a bagel with a lot of
It
stuffing?
sounds like it's a storybook about a donut, which has 12 pages.
Exactly.
It really could be anything.
Or it could be a stack of 12 donuts.
It wouldn't actually be a donut as high as a 12-story building, do you think? And like a real, an actual 12-story building.
I might have thought that once, but after the events of this morning, Jade looks up at his tiny fury. I couldn't be sure.
Tiny Fury can help you if it's too big.
It's true.
That's true.
That's very true.
Really, you not having anything?
She kind of flourishes her hand and summons a pomegranate and just starts
I forgot you could do
carefully
that.
peeling it with a tiny knife.
That's really cool. And he mimics your motion to himself a little bit.
I
Paul
would
creates
like-
a pomegranate for Tamar and puts it in his hand. It's bright pink and sparkly. It's not quite the same, but...
How do I eat this? Do I just take a...
Yep, you just take a big old bite.
Okay.
Jade looks longingly at the pomegranate and then over to Cole.
Tamar notices this. He chops it with his axe. And he hands you the half.
No. Jade
Puts it back
wants a
together.
pomegranate from Cole. No, Jade doesn't say their name. Cole, I would like a pomegranate, please. But I would also like to be offered one.
Cole looks like he's enjoying this drama a little bit. Fine. He makes one and flicks it over to Jade. It does a little tumble into his hands.
Oh, Jade.
If you cry, I'll be offended that you don't like my pomegranate.
Would you like me to slice it open with my axe?
No.
Okay.
Cole starts mimicking Jade's facial expression.
I like pomegranates.
Have you ever had a pomegranate before?
No.
I might have made you one before.
No. I wanted one of Cole's pomegranates.
Jade,
I was jealous.
Jade, come here. Dan. I know I look like a woman, but you are still attracted to me right now, right?
It's you, so
Cool. Core gives Jade a kiss. Is that better? There you go. Wonderful! Problem solved. Oh, problem created.
Tamar, meanwhile, is picking out the pomegranate seeds with his axe. And eating it off the axe.
That seems unwise.
What do you mean?
Eating things off your axe.
I don't have a smaller knife.
You have fingers.
I do, but my fingers are big.
This is a restaurant. I'm sure you could ask for a knife.
He said as a patron's looking at him with his axe in his hand. Okay. Oh, they have silverware on the table. I didn't even notice this.
in most restaurants. They also have napkins. I know you've never heard of them before, but
Ooh,
quite
it's-
useful to wipe up the juice.
Look at this spoon. I've never seen a spoon so small. It's small enough to pick up a single pomegranate seed.
That is a normal sized spoon.
Tamar, did you also grow up in the middle of nowhere away from society?
No,
Yeah,
I was
actually-
just awkward.
You have no excuse then. That's somewhat charming.
What is?
Nothing. Continue. That is not charming. I meant more the whole thing.
He continues eating. The waitress comes back with your drinks. All of your drinks. For Judy, she has gotten you a drink as well.
It's called the Nevermind. It's the strongest alcohol they have.
She hands you all your drinks. And Virginia, you get a very, very curious looking drink. Cora, you get a full meal. You get a whole onslaught of stuff your way. You've got muffins. You've got a full cake. You've got a pie. You've got a second pie that's smaller than the first pie.
He picks out the champagne and just takes that.
You've got champagne. You've got 2 cups of tea. You've got a pot of coffee. All there. You've got a small soup. You've got some crackers. You've got a box of biscuits. A few slices of French toast. Some eggs. A tomato.
Cora takes the French toast and the champagne and slides everything else over to everyone else.
So Dridi taps on the top of her glass with her knife.
Mhm.
I did not order this.
Oh, my apologies. I thought you ordered the Nevermind.
You did. I heard you.
It's our specialty house drink. And as you look at it, it's got this sort of purple concoction, and it's emitting sort of these fumes that smell otherworldly.
Dridi slides it across the table to Tamar.
This is a tall glass.
That's
Please
not
enjoy.
wise.
Say again, Jade.
Not wise. But when have you ever been?
That's true.
Drink it.
Okay. How do I hold this? It's very long. It's like a...
Wait, hold on. Can I dip my finger in it and then try it? And can I do a perception check or investigation for any kind of effects this drink could have?
You can. You dip your finger in.
Finally, a good roll. 16 plus what's the... What am I doing? Is it just perception?
You can roll for me a
Investigation?
wisdom saving throw.
Ah, okay. So 16 plus
And with advantage because of
Mhm.
the...
6.
Because of the coffee.
22 or natural 1. 22.
You feel sort of tingling sensation as you lick it. Ooh. In your frontal lobe. But it doesn't seem to take any effect. You seem quite resistant to it.
I don't think you should drink that.
Why not? The fumes coming out.
You don't really have wisdom.
He takes a sip.
You bloody idiot.
Meanwhile, Jade, what did you order as your drink again?
A bottomless green tea.
She comes back at this moment as Tamara is taking a sip. And she hands you a very small, you know the Japanese style, the little cups that are just like the little ones with no handles. It's just like a little cup.
I know them very well. Whenever I forget my flask at school, that's all they have for me.
Really? Okay, it's
Yeah.
one of those.
So if I want like a hot drink
Oh.
or a cold beverage, it's just this big.
Yep, it's that big. So she hands you that. And she looks like she struggles with carrying it almost. And she puts it on the table.
It never ends, doesn't it?
Well, do you attempt to chug it?
No, Jade is a sipper.
Okay, you sip. You sip quite a lot. And it looks full when you put it down.
Can I tip it?
You can try to tip it, yeah, you're just sipping it on the table.
No, he's got a little bit of intelligence.
It pours out
You-
quite a lot more than there is.
He gets like a pot and just starts tipping.
Alright. After a short while, it quickly fills up the entire pot. And it looks
The
like
ocean
it's
is in my drink.
Actually, it's green
Good.
tea.
Order a bottomless green tea.
I did.
And She walks away.
Can I have this to go?
You can keep the cup.
Can I have a lid for the cup, please?
They do not make lids for these kinds of drinks.
I'm sure we can find a way to seal it, Jane.
Jade will start getting some like cheesecloth and like fastening it around the top.
She warns you, though, as you do that. Keep in mind, should you tip it over, the weight of the ocean will push on that lid. And she walks away. Cora, you've got your bottomless alcohol as well. Rodrigo, yes.
Can Drady, like, just get, like, kind of like a wax, like, Druid crafty, like, a little, like, waxy leaf to put over Jade's cup?
You can, yes, it's cool. How does it look?
And she just offers it. This will be better sealant.
That's wonderful. Thank you. I also think I need to invest in a teacup holster. One that, to be honest, would always stays up.
Whilst this is happening, Cor would like to send a stealthy message, if possible.
Oh, yep. What kind of stealthy message would you like to send?
It's gonna send one to Calarel.
Okay, what do you want to send?
Full view of all of them.
Ah, yes. But he's doing it stealthily. Should I roll a stealth check?
You can roll sleight of hand if you want to conceal the spell.
I will warn you that Drady's passive perception is 24.
That is high.
Mine is 17.
That's
Right.
more than... That's 11 higher than Neff's. That's crazy. That's so perceptive.
That's an 18.
18?
Servant feet.
Okay, 18. Jade, your passive perception, I think, is 17?
I have no idea what's going on.
You
I'm
have...
thinking about my teacup holster.
Okay. Well, I think, Cora, you managed to evade everyone's attention when you're casting this spell. Rodridi, however, you do notice that Cora is casting. He sparkles, he shimmers. You know what to look out for, and you can tell that he's casting something. Cora, what message would you like to send?
Okay. I have the vibe, but... Okay. Hello, you ugly bitch. Starting. I know you're a fairy. Wonder how much they like you. I'm gonna send it off.
Damn! I can imagine, like, Corpin's, like, folding up a note and putting it in the locker of, like, Calarel's dude. You send the message off. You don't feel like it's passing through any planes of existence. It latches on to its target. You get the feeling from your message that Calarel is on this plane of existence.
Are you stalking me? Obsessed with me.
And while I prepare for what you may or may not receive, we'll take a very short break right here in the middle of the session because it's been about a little bit over an hour. So we'll put a mini pause in here. So if you need to go to the loo, get a tea refill, have a little bit of a snack or anything like that, then this will be the time to do so. And we'll be back in a few minutes.
All right.
I'll put us on BRB. We have audio and we have video. Hello, adventurers. We are back once again. Core, you have just sent a very sneaky, stealthy message. Sleight of handing it, making sure that nobody can see. However, Sleia does manage to get a glimpse. Now, whether or not you see that Sleia gets a glimpse of it or not, that's hard to say. But Sleia, you do see that Core is casting some secret magic. As for what kind of magic it is, might be hard to say. Maybe you know. Maybe you've seen Core cast this before. Core, you receive a reply. You get a response from Calorel.
This is how you talk to your parents, kids.
This is how you talk to your parents. You coward. The response that you get back, you hear in Calorel's voice. If that's all you've discovered, I have no need to worry. You're still far from the truth. A for effort, but no extra credit.
Core makes like a disgusted face into his champagne, like,
Oh, does it taste bad?
nah. It's great.
Didn't get the response you were hoping for.
That was exactly what I was hoping for. Such a bitch.
The champagne.
Does.
Tamar looks at the champagne angrily on your behalf. How dare you?
How's your never mind?
Oh, it was wonderful. I drank the whole thing.
You feeling right?
I am now. But while I was drinking that, I had an out-of-body experience. It was wild. I felt like I was riding on a magic carpet in the stars in space. I feel a bit woozy.
Maybe shove some water.
Maybe. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yes, hi. Hello. How can I help you? Could I get a water? Bottomful, please. Bottomful water coming up. And she disappears for a bit. Core, what happened?
I just sent a cheeky message to Calorel. They don't seem that concerned that I know that they're a fairy. But they could be bluffing. They could just be really good at poker, like me. But... Actually, could I roll an insight check on the message tone?
Sure. What exactly are you checking for?
Just judging their mood and response, maybe. It's not bad. I think that's going to be an 18, but I'll just check. Yes, 18.
18. With your insight roll, the insight kind of vibe check that you do, you get the feeling that while there is a bit of like banter going back and forth, there is this tone that bothers you about the message a little bit of detachment. As if the messages that you're sending not really bothering the person that they're being sent to for whatever reason. But at the same time, as though the messages that are being sent to you don't have the emotional weight behind them that you kind of expect that they should or would, given what you know about Calorel's identity. And that strikes you as a bit sus. It's a bit sus.
Bit sus. I reckon Calorel's had the emotion part of their brain cut out. That's my new theory.
Are you telling that to the group, or
Yeah.
are you... Okay. But by... How?
I was kind of joking, but it could be an option.
Okay. So you're not mad at the alcohol. Okay, I understand.
I am never mad at the alcohol.
That's fair, that makes sense.
Even
Oh, my
cheap
water,
booze
thank
has
you.
its place.
So... Where's my donut, by the way? Excuse me? Yes.
Yeah.
My 12-story donut? It is coming right up. Okay, we have to leave soon. We don't have that much time. Could I have it to go? Yes, of course. Okay, thank you. And the waitress disappears.
I'm concerned.
I'm concerned as well. I've been waiting quite a... Oh, is that it over there? And the lady brings back a donut. And this donut is the size of a normal donut. But very carefully, the frosting has been modeled into a city. Connecting in the middle, above the hole, supported by frosting beams, is a skyscraper, tiny one, of frosting 12 stories high. This is not at all what I thought. This is very delicate but tiny. I thought it was going to be a big donut.
As soon as Tamar gets it, can I just put my finger in the frosting and lick the building away?
You destroy the city with you. Cool. I don't know why I was so attached to that all of a sudden.
I mean, if it's made out of royal icing, it probably would just crack.
Yeah,
Just
crack and crumble.
Paul puts it in his mouth. Crunch.
It tastes quite nice, like hard frosting, the kind you'd expect on a cupcake, more so than like a donut specifically, but still nice. Well, okay, I'll just eat this donut then, I guess. Does anyone else want a building?
I will have some of your donut.
Here. He hands you the city. Take your pick.
I pull off the...
You've got a bank, you've got the library, you pull up the frosting library.
Arcade Fun Complex.
Wise choice. I'll pull off the brewery.
We just pass it around.
I'm going to start my arcane recovery.
Would you like to devour a building?
Sorry, I don't know if y'all can hear how loud my cat's screaming.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Is that from outside the room?
That's outside the room.
Oh my god, that's so loud! Loud! That's
so
cute.
if anybody addressed Dreedy in that moment, I didn't hear it because my cat is screaming.
Tamara is like handing you the donut, asking if you would like to devour a building as well.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Not fond of sugar.
That's
Would
okay.
you like a tomato? Core points to
No,
the
I'm
single tomato.
Sorry, say again.
What are you about to do with Tamar's toes?
Does Jerry say that?
What are you doing with Tamar's toes?
No.
They're off limits.
I was distracted by the fact that inside of this tiny library and arcade fun complex, you can actually see little books.
That's true. Oh my god. Inside this little brewery that I already ate. I don't know why I'm motioning as if I still have it in my hands. I did see small beverages inside.
Maybe there were tiny people living in the city and now they're all dead.
Death to all.
At least it was quick.
True.
Well, if they didn't get crushed to death, the stomach acid will take care of it.
Well, that was nice.
I'm sure that will happen. If I have stomach acid, I feel like it might just be a compaction machine in there. Of some
Do you have any bodily fluids, Jade?
That's a very forward question.
Core sticks his finger in Jade's mouth.
There's like some condensation.
Condensation.
Interesting.
It does feel like... Okay, look. It's like... The skin does have like a fleshy texture to it. It just is a bit more like a cartilage feel than anything.
Okay.
Because it's like partially rock, partially flesh. But
Ooh.
the inside of his mouth is warm and damp. Don't know why you'd need to know that, but now you do.
Core's like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what you knew every day.
Tamar takes a sip of his water and finishes it off. Alright, well, I'm done and ready to go. Shall we pay for this meal?
Let's
Yeah. Can we put it on Avarice's tab? He just yells to the waitress.
Oh, I know Avarice. Are you a friend of Avarice's?
So close.
Oh,
Yeah.
Salt. Yes, of course. What's your name?
Lyric.
Lyric. Okay, I'll write it down. For Avarice. Avarice's friend. Okay, I'll put that on his tab.
Mm-hmm.
How was the food?
Wonderful.
Thank you. I am out of focus right now. I'm a bit further away.
Fades into the hedge.
Thank you for stopping by the city of flavor. That's what this place
City
is.
of Flavor.
The City of Flavor.
Flavor Town.
Flavor Town. And she walks away.
Alright, let's go draw this teleportation circle and
Alright.
die.
There's a fire genasi called Guy Fieri who
Guy Fieri. That's cool. As you walk,
Jade will leave.
Jade leaves. Tamar leaves as well. Do the rest of you leave? Or are you staying for no reason in particular?
Why are
Core
you
finishes
following me?
stone fade and then leaves.
And Jade, you've got in your inventory now the bottomless drink of green tea, effectively.
As it's just the two of them for the first like 10 seconds, Jade will initially be like, "Why are you following me, Tamar?" Oh, right. I see.
Yes.
I see.
I had no choice.
Don't say that.
This is the only exit.
So you didn't want to follow me?
I did want to.
Oh. Okay then.
Let's go
Jade
to...
keeps walking.
Okay.
Every interaction with him is inscrutable.
Inscrutable, awkward, and just hits a bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of you exit out as well. And you head towards a place to do the teleportation circle. In the confines of where you once saw a teleportation circle before, I'm guessing. Unless there's a specific place that you're heading? You're heading to the other one? Because there was a teleportation circle here in Capital, but...
Can we just go to like a quiet alleyway or something?
I
Well-
think that's nice.
As you walk, you do walk past, as you're looking for a quiet spot, you do walk past the Temple of Illustrae, which is now much larger than it once was, and quite a few things strike you as odd.
Is there not like a quiet alleyway like behind the restaurant?
Not behind the restaurant. Unless you want to do it kind of in plain view of everybody. It's up to you.
Okay,
But
never mind.
towards the... where...
Face.
I guess where the Temple of Illustrae is a bit closer to the edge of this district. So there are more there are quieter areas around here that aren't quite as bustling out of the view of others, if that's where you're heading. But if you want to head more into the densely populated areas to find a quiet spot, that's fine as well. It's up to you.
Probably just the first quiet spot we can find
Alright.
nearby.
You guys are looking around. And the first quiet spot that you do come across would be around the temple, as it is very unpopulated here. There aren't any people around, as far as you can see. It's definitely
Jade
quiet
offers
almost.
carry core all the way.
Say again.
Core is relieved to be carried.
Carrying core all the way.
Would
He's
you
being
like
very
a-
dramatic. He's like, we're gonna die. Oh, sorry?
Would you like piggyback or princess style?
Princess, please.
Or one of
I'm
the
in
various
mourning.
moves we practiced.
Princess style, so I can look dramatic and mournful.
Jade offers Core one of his sashes so that he can have extra flair.
He uses it like a sad handkerchief. He's like, oh.
It billows in the wind, glittering slightly. It's a slight... It's like a mauve into a rose pink.
He'll change back into his normal form at this point. He's like, I feel better like this.
As you change back, looking for a quiet place, kind of avoiding sound wherever you hear it. You hear bustling, you hear people walking, you go in the opposite directions. You hear people around, you see some people, you walk away from them. You're trying to find a place that's out of the way, where people aren't looking, where people aren't being sus, and where people can't sus you. As you eventually make your way over to the quietest part of this area, which just so happens to be, for some suspect reason, the Temple of Illustrae, you eventually approach, and you're close to the temple now. Within eyeshot of it. You know how people say within earshot? Is within eyeshot a thing? That's not a thing, right? Is that a thing?
That is fine.
Okay. As you come into contact with it, I want you all to roll for me perception checks, as some thing about it seems a bit weird. Although it is quite
15.
quiet. 15? Aylin?
Natural 20 plus 9.
Ooh!
17.
17, okay. All of you are rolling pretty well. Rodridi, you are rolling unbelievably. You are rolling with perfection. The first thing that strikes you is odd. Outside of this temple being quite quiet, which it usually is not, it's not necessarily that quiet. There's a little bit of life here and there usually. But on the outside, there's something that strikes you as strange. Where the previous temple once stood it's clear now that this temple is standing. Not only is this temple different from the temple that was here when you first ran into the small sort of offshoot where the acolyte was, this temple itself seems to be completely different, like it was rebuilt. Or at least that's what it seems like at first. On the ground, you see that it cuts off in a sort of a circle. And where it does, the stone pavement, the cobblestone of the, the kind of city area that is capital, cuts off. And a new sort of cobblestone and patches of grass kind of encircle this temple. With your perception checks, it looks like it doesn't match. The floor is incongruent. Doesn't seem to kind of match the floor of the rest of the city. As if almost this was placed here. For Drudy, with your natural 20, you immediately connect the dots. And this floor, the sort of ground, the grass, the cobblestone pathways that sort of cut off immediately right as they sort of branch from the temple itself, resemble the pathways and floor of the Kingdom of Crystal where you just came from. Almost as if this was placed here from there. Suspiciously, the circle shape of the ground that kind of cuts into the floor has a sort of singe mark in it as well, in the grass, resembling a sort of teleportation circle. That's what you see. The rest of you kind of get some sort of idea of this information, but not the full scope of it. But for Drudy, you gain all that information. Whether or not you decide to share it with the group is up to you.
What she says is, someone is playing musical chairs with buildings. Let's put an end to it.
Could I pop a scry?
You could!
Yeah. Can I scry on... I'm going to go for Calarel, because technically Cord know Calarel better than Zephyrs.
True.
Okay, let me just get up scrying, because I always forget about it.
That's true for the both ways you could interpret that sentence. He knows Calarel better than Zephyrs would, and he knows Calarel better than he knows Zephyrs.
Scrying.
And actually, for Drudy, there is something I'll give you as well. Another piece of information in a moment. Because of your nat 20.
I forget, do these stack, Aelin? The negatives that they get?
I don't believe so, because we worked it out in the DC.
Yeah. The difference represents a stacking already.
I mean, like, familiar, you know the target well, and then a likeness or picture. You couldn't combine those two.
I think it represents, rather than, it represents levels of knowledge, rather than, like, actual tangible evidence. So, like, if you only know them from a photo or evidence...
But these are different save modifiers, that's why I'm asking. Because you see how there's two sections? So there's a knowledge save modifier and a connection save modifier. And they're different.
Yeah, that's what's confusing to me as well.
I guess it's up to Thomas then. I
can read to Thomas.
Yeah,
I can read to Thomas. So there's one section which is knowledge save modifier, and that's depending how well you know the target. And then there's a section which says connection save modifier, which is a completely different set of things, like likeness or picture, possession or garment, body hair, lock of hair. I can look this up as well, but how would you interpret that?
I think that's fine considering you're related, so...
Okay. So, using the knowledge modifier and the connection modifier, we don't have...
Do they stack normally? Or send me the details. I'll have a look at it.
I wouldn't stack things within the same category, but they are two different categories. So I think those would potentially stack, but I can look it up if we want to.
I'm happy to do I'm happy to house rule.
Let me send it to you.
Because I don't think it should be too crazy. But yeah, just send me the thing on Facebook or...
So you'll see the two different save modifiers. So for example, if you were familiar with the target, that starts with a -5 modifier in the knowledge modifier. And then say you have a bit of hair from that person, it would be a -10, which is a total -15 from their save. But in this case...
I get it. I reckon, okay. From this, I'm guessing that it's the knowledge is one save modifier and the connection is another. And then you pick one out of each of these.
Yeah, I think that's also...
So your knowledge is either second hand or first hand or familiar. And then the connection outside of that is likeness or picture, possession or garment, body. Yeah, okay. So I
That's
think
what
you
I understand.
pick one out of each of those.
So it would be a -5 and a -2 because we have a picture of Caloral.
Yep.
So it would be a total of -7 off their save.
I think so. Yeah, that's how I would rule it because you have the
Okay.
one save modifier and another save modifier. They're both separate save modifiers. That's how I'm gonna house rule it here, unless we have some damning evidence that that rolls it in the other way.
I
But
think that
it's
makes
fine.
sense, but I'll look it up later if not.
Should be fine. That's I think in favor of you guys anyway, so it shouldn't be too.
Yeah.
Two-
Otherwise, why would they have the two different sections? But yeah.
That's what I reckon. That's what I'll do here. That's what I'll do for the shiny boys. So, what kind of a save am I rolling?
I think it's a wisdom save.
Wisdom save on Kal-El. Alright, let me pull this back out. Every time I pull out this character sheet, it's always fun. It's always fun.
Plus
Fun
30
content.
to wisdom.
Okay.
It's like a cruel stack.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm taking away 7 total from the save.
Yeah.
This is not going to be very good. That makes the wisdom save. Oh my god, this is adding and then subtracting away.
Just do the total and then add minus the 7.
It's a 9.
I see Caloral.
Alright, your vision goes away as you lock in on Kal-El's vision. And I think with the scry, you get like not only a view of what Kal-El sees, but I think like a view of like just the surroundings as well, like almost like like a god looking down upon the scene, right?
Wait, I think I might have made a mistake. Hold on.
Ooh. Ooh.
Hold on. I think I've made a mistake because I actually don't think Core can scry.
Oh.
I think I've made a character mistake crossing him over with All Stab.
Oh. In that case, you have a brief a vision of what it might be like to scry.
I'm just checking.
You have a big brain, creative inspiration, animation, imagination movement.
What would I be?
I think that. I don't think Core can scry. I think Druidi can scry.
Rudy can scry. She's done so before, but she can't. She doesn't have access to a.
Okay.
What's it called?
Never mind. Retcon all of that. Core cannot scry.
Okay. Core thinks about scrying for a little bit, and he imagines in his own mind what it might look like, and he pictures Kal-El being a dumb idiot doing dumb stuff, thinking about potentially what might be going on. But outside of that, you don't do a scry. Is there anything else you're trying to do?
No, I think that was just my mistake.
Okay.
I don't know why I thought he could scry. Probably because I'm so used to All-Star doing it.
For Druidi, there is a piece of information that you would get with your natural 20. Even though you're still this is like a sort of courtyard almost, this area in front of the temple. There is a sound that you can hear, very, very faint, carried by the wind, that sounds familiar, that you can hear. A sort of gentle humming. Coming from inside the temple. But it's very faint, and only you can hear it.
Okay. When you say familiar, who does it sound like?
It sounds like Arya.
Druidy's going to ignore it and keep going on getting everybody to do the teleportation circle.
Before we go, could I do something? I would like to take one of my daggers and coat it because Core has all these poisons and I haven't used them. So I think Core's going to take his dagger and he's going to use serpent venom on it just as a backup.
Okay.
He's not sure what's going to happen.
Alright. Well, outside of any of the perception stuff that you might have gained, outside of the knowledge that you've accrued from just looking this scene over, this looks like a pretty quiet spot. And there isn't a soul in sight, as far as you can see. Here, outside. It's a nice sunny day. Valentina looks to all of you expectantly.
Let's go.
So am I drawing the teleportation circle?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind it's only one way, so I hope you're ready for this. Wherever it goes.
You're coming with us, right?
Yeah, I've got nothing else to do.
Ah, that's a fair point.
She takes out a
I have
little...
amnesia.
Yeah, I'll come with. I'm turning into Neff slowly. She pulls out a little bag of salt, and she starts putting it on the ground, and forming a teleportation circle out of the salt that she's brought with her. A special sort of salt that she uses. You gather. It does seem to have this sort of a magical ambience to it. Sort of aura that emanates off of it. The kind that would be familiar to you. But the sort of magic that you'd expect to exude, or to be kind of emanating off of a teleportation circle. And carefully she recreates the runes with precision, and almost ease as if she's done this a million times. You get the feeling that maybe her mechanical skill of doing this sort of thing has remained with her despite her memories of her being Lady Valentine have been lost. That's sort of evident in her precision and care as she makes this teleportation circle. Not all that big, but just big enough for all of you to fit in it. Just on the ground, on the cobblestone road that... just outside of the range of where the Temple of Illustrate kind of cuts off. And she creates it. Well, there's only one thing to do now. It'll last for a short amount of time, so just let me know when you want me to activate it, I guess, and then we can go through. Now? Okay. She appears to charge it with some sort of magical energy. You see some flames kind of spark out from her hands. As the teleportation circle for a moment catches ablaze. But then the fire kind of disappears and this sort of a radiant blue glow glows out of the ground. In the shape of the runes. It'll be like this for about a minute, so that's how much time we have.
Onwards.
I'll go first, says Tamara.
Jade's
No,
already
no.
on. I don't think you understand. Jade has already walked onto the circle. Like, he is fully on it.
As is
Alright.
Drudy, yeah.
Jade is carrying core, so...
Alright, so you walk
Jade
on.
and Cora are already on it.
It doesn't teleport you immediately, as you are enveloped by the light. You get a feeling that as the minute kind of runs out, at the end of the minute is when you'll be teleported.
Well, this
These-
is sweet. Swell. Wonderful relaxation.
I was expecting it to feel warm for some reason, but it just feels normal.
I feel the urge to kiss you right now.
Which one?
Both. Sure.
Okay.
It's a bit hard to kiss two people at once, but...
Tamara
He does
gives
it
you a
in
kiss
groups.
on the cheek. And then looks away.
Cute.
That was fine. And Jade then kisses me.
That was fine.
That was fine. 8 out of 10. That was fine.
I'm satisfied.
Reasonable.
Alaria steps in with you.
Yeah.
Nodding. And Valentina steps in last with you as well. Okay. Here goes nothing. And you are enveloped by the light of the teleportation circle in the middle. Well, not really in the middle, but in the middle of this empty courtyard. And your vision is blinded as light envelops you completely. Feels like every other teleportation circle you've taken up to this point. And another familiar sensation hits you. The feeling of wind rushing past you at a very fast pace. You get the feeling that you've been teleported somewhere into the sky or the air yet again. And you come to from your vision comes to specifically, I guess, as all your other senses. Looking around, you see water below you, not too far. It doesn't feel like the splash of falling into the water will be that painful, or painful at all, considering you're not that high up. Is there anything you'd like to do to soften your fall? Or
How
avoid...
far is the water?
Yeah.
It's only about 10 feet below you, but
Oh, okay.
Okay.
it's like a diving
Like-
board height.
Jade 100% knows not to free dive, so he just rolls into a quick, simple forward tuck.
I don't think I need to use feather fall, so...
Yeah, the water won't damage you. It's like diving into a pool off of a diving board.
Mm-mm.
That's kind of
Or
how
it's
it'll
like,
feel.
oh...
It would.
shoes.
Okay, if I will say, if you belly flop, it will probably hurt,
Hmm.
as that's just kind of generally expected. But
Can we roll performance to see how well we dive?
oh yes, performance dives. That's a good idea.
Can Jade roll acrobatics to see how full he does?
Yep.
Natural 2029.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness gracious!
I like
Okay.
this is fun.
Plus 6. That is 17.
Nice. Vidridi, are you going to be diving as well?
Oh my gosh, cat, sorry.
Oh!
Cat.
He started headbutting the dice tray, and I was like, nope.
Nope.
Not while I'm trying to, like, look at stats, buddy. Okay. You done with me?
Tamar looks like he's gonna cannonball.
Oh god.
Wait, what kind of
Oh wait,
dive?
I turned into a mermaid. Easy.
Turn into a mermaid? Easy peasy. Okay. Vidridi, is there anything you're doing? Are you rolling?
She wild shapes into a tressum.
Oh, that's cool! Okay, so I'm guessing are you hovering above the water without actually jumping
Yeah,
in?
she's not getting in the water.
Alright,
She
Vidridi
doesn't want to.
avoiding the splash, you transform into a tressum and
Yep.
prevent yourself from falling in. Gracefully, you make your way to the surface level of the water as the others splash in. What do your dives look like? Jade, yours looks... Jade, you look like an Olympic diver. And Cora, you look graceful in
That's
your mer form.
fun.
Flash the tail.
I'm guessing that you guys do some fancy stuff. Jade, probably a few flips, turns, spins, all before hitting the water. Cor, you look majestic as you dive in as if you live in the sea. Tamar, as a cannonball, makes a giant splash. Alara and Valentina also seem to do their own sort of dives, a little bit more casually. Valentina looks like she just jumped in as if she slipped off the pier a little bit. Ah!
Oh.
Alara dives in gracefully without making too much of a commotion. Just a straight normal dive, right into the water, disappearing under the sea and popping back out at the surface. And then you think for a moment that all is a bit too calm, and you feel a shadow kind of loom over you. And you feel something falling. Vidridi.
Just a reminder that Tressum do have detect visibility and poison sense.
Okay. You do not detect any of those.
What's
Well,
falling?
At the moment, at least.
Poison sense, yes, because it of Core's dagger.
Oh, yes, of course. But nothing out of the ordinary, I should say.
You know it's heckin' poisoned.
Yes.
Yep.
Can first of all, Core's dagger should be called like venom or something. But second of all, this thing that's falling from the sky, would you consider it a missile?
No, not
Large
necessarily.
enough to hold?
But
Is
if
it
Would you
large enough for you to
consider it a large cat?
I would consider it a pretty large cat.
Oh, it's my
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna power Core and Tamar. Sorry, not Core. Tamar and Jade away from Tiny Fury.
From the splash zone.
Yeah.
Alara looks like she's out of the
Brady's-
way. Valentina
Yeah,
pops
Trini
out.
can fly away from it, so she's not gonna worry about it.
You all fly out of the way of Tiny Fury. Valentina now pops out of the water. Wow, that was... She's absolutely pushed back underneath as Tiny Fury falls on top.
I
Huge
couldn't
cat.
save all of you. I'm sorry.
Tiny Fury re-emerges, looking a bit smaller than before, now damp with water.
He's a random NPC rather than his two love interests.
He knew his mum was fine.
And then after a moment, another moment passes. You wait. And then eventually, Valentina pops back out again. Oh my god.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. And she coughs out some hair.
A little crab crawls out.
A little crab crawls out. A crustacean makes its way out.
How deep is this water?
It looks fairly deep.
Ugh.
No
one has
no.
thalassophobia.
I don't like that at all.
But I would like all of you to roll for me perception checks as you're here.
I don't want to see into the water.
Don't worry, you can specify to me that you don't want to look into the water.
But you would see
Perception.
Core's beautiful, long, shimmery tail.
Okay, but then I'd also have to look past it.
It looks poisonous. Like a poisonous fish.
9.
Okay,
Perception 9. I'm scared of the water.
that's
And
fair.
I'm worried about my cat.
Jade, you are keeping your eyes on Tiny Fury, who's paddling about, looking like it's a bit damp. And you're avoiding eye contact with the water below. The rest of you, how did you do on your rolls?
I just forgot what I rolled.
The water balloon was
Did anyone hear what I said?
You forgot what you rolled?
17.
Oh, 17, okay.
I think I rolled less than 17.
Oh, okay.
Should I just
14.
re-roll it?
It was
Was it
high
14?
this time.
I feel like it was.
Should I just
Between
re-roll it?
17.
I don't remember.
You can re-roll it, yeah.
Honest.
Aiden, what did you roll?
What is that?
Oh,
13 plus 2, 15.
Sorry, 18.
18, 15, okay.
Ow,
So-
ow, 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 ow.
Oh.
Stop.
So, Jade, you're looking a little bit... You're keeping an eye on your friends and the big cat. More so than your surroundings, but the others. You're looking around a little bit. And as you take a look around, you notice that you are encircled. At a great distance, mind you, by land.
We're in whatchamacallit.
It
We're
looks
in
like...
for Hello Paul.
Well, I'm gonna say yeah. Since you guys recognize it quite quickly, this looks to
Oh,
be
there was a teleportation circle in the center. I remember now.
for Heller Atoll. There was way earlier in the game. Way early. It's like I don't know what session it was now, but this looks to be like a teleportation circle core that you actually remember seeing. Verdridi, this place to you, I think looks a bit new. I don't think you've seen for Heller Atoll before, so this is a new place for
He
you.
has not seen it outside of boat.
True. You've only been... because... Oh, yeah, I remember. So this is your first time here, in person, in the flesh. Jade, it's been a while. But Core, you recognize this place immediately to be for Heller Atoll. As you look around, and the landmarks in the distance seems to match with your memory. You see the sort of flatter plains in the distance where the towns would have been. You see the sort of rockier mountains that kind of crest over to your side, where you also remember being, and you see the tip of a pyramid in the great distance as well that seems to kind of match with your memory of being here a while ago. And as you take this time to reconvene in the water, choose a direction to swim in if you'd like to, or even investigate the surrounding area, I think this is where we'll
Can
put
I
it.
climb up onto my cat?
You
sit atop
can!
him like,
You can!
is that
Tiny
what you
Fu-
always wanted?
Tiny Fury is big enough for multiple passengers if you'd like to sit atop Tiny Fury. The massive, giant
I can't do it.
Tiny Fury. Tiny Fury looks like he's comforted by your comforting.
Amy.
Oh! Tiny
Oh, boy.
Fury. Basically that, yeah.
No.
He's doing a little paddle. But Tiny Fury looks like he's ready to get to land. And as you make your way, we'll put a pin in the session here, and we'll continue next time on the Shiny Boys. And
Wee.
we'll end it here.
To land.
Yay! I can't believe this is your last session in Japan. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Wow.
It's gonna be good. It's
I
gonna be.
can't really believe that either.
I know it's crazy. At the beginning of the next chapter, page is about to turn. It's gonna be good. I'm excited. And then next Shiny Boys will happen on the 31st, 7 p.m. as usual. Unless there's any changes, if anything comes up, just let me know, and then we can move it around as necessary. It should be all good. Be fun. I'm excited for that.
Of course, same with DC. If you guys need any Monday sessions or anything like that, just let me know.
Yeah, should be good. All right, I'll end it here. Lots of love to everybody who watched, and all of you for playing. Appreciate you. Thank you for making time for the game. Lots of love. We'll be back soon. Stay tuned for next week for DC and Shiny Boys the week after.
Wee.
Ciao for now.